So, Milan, what are we doing today?
Today we will make a second part of electromagnetic ripples, which we made last time. So before that, I'm going to continue. I will try to explain how I see electromagnetic field. It's maybe good because apparently static electric field and apparently static permanent magnet could make confusion. So I see electromagnetic field like stressed space, whatever it means, space. There is a carrier of source of field. It could be matter, but field are not matter. Field are space. So they are the part. There is no separately electric or magnetic. They are the same. The part of the same stressed. Let's say, imagine that it is space, and the stress is actually torsion. And torsion, how we apply stress. So we are stressing like this, and we have changes. So now I will, let's say, if it is torsion, it was like here. Let's say cross section of stressed field. So how we are stressing, then what we call electric field, it will void. It will be voidance, implode. When we unstressing, it will disperse, returning back. So electric is a dead plane. What we call flow is in that direction, and how we are stressing, we are actually there is attraction, or in how we are stressing space. So the space here will be shorter. How we are unstressing back, it will return. It is like repel, it will return back, the same like here. The angular moment, it is, that torsion is what we'll call magnetic. So for DC current, one weak force, what we call force, apply on higher terminal. So let's say in positive and negative is fixed. So DC stress is like this and stop. How much will be stress depends of current. Is stop. For AC, it goes like this. We are stressing, reach the maximum moment, and it is unstressing, and then it is finish of first half period. Then it's stressing on another story, that this one is stressing like this, and return back to unstress, and then again. So it is for AC when we have a resistive load only. If we have a coil or capacitor, reactive components, we have a different situation. It is, so let's say I'm stressing from here, but a reactive component does its own, and that fixed point, which was before here in reactive power, it shifts between that terminal and this one. So if it is total, let's say 240 volts, is when it's from between terminals. But when we have reactive, then it could be that fixed point which is dancing between. It could be 130 volts. So it is, you will see attached animation which we made. So that's why I'm saying it is not separate. It is the components of the same thing. Now, about what I had planned to speak today, I had planned to finish what I started last time. This moment I will talk about if you over there I explained that I had a fact that I had oscillator with how I explain, then I have coil, and when from power supply I disconnected AC power supply, and for a while a capacitor was the only source until it's discharged. Then I got double voltage on the load, which was on the end of the coil. So we can do the same like this, on the same principle. We will have oscillator. Then I will explain now with single wire transmission. Then I will put two LEDs in alternate combination, two LEDs, any kind. Then I have over here, I will have the coil, and on the top of the coil I will have again alternate LEDs, but many. Why? If it is 10 volts, this one is grounded, and this one could be just piece of wire or some massive body or anything. So when we get so if it is 10 volts, over here will be, it could be about 500 volts if you tune something like this, the coil like this, you can get 500 volts. So that's why over here you can attach many LEDs like this. In resonance, the both over here will be high brightness, and here as well. When you get that, it is just one type of resonance. Those two will be visual current detector, let's say. But there is another resonance. When you will get full brightness for this LED bank, but no light on this one. So it is exactly what I explained before in last video, when I disconnected, when load like here actually suck from here and get high voltage overload, not overload, across terminals of load. But when there is no light here, it doesn't mean no current, because on high frequency the capacitance of diodes will take place, and there will be current, of course. So why I said it is how say one single wire transmission, but I think there is no single wire transmission, because it's always a return. So let's say if it is capacitor body or something similar, antenna, top load, then it is like one half of capacitor. Another is, let's say, surrounding things like table, like ground. And so electrically, we could say that it is almost like this. Like this, just let's say it is 68 picofarads, whatever. Very, very small value, but because high frequency, it's huge energy can be delivered. And this effect, it's very similar what Professor Konstantin Meil did. I think it was about 2000, and he published that this model sell to around the world to institutes where he made a presentation of longitudinal waves, where on the actually he used something like this, printed on the PCB. It is a flat spiral coil. It is secondary, and it is primary. Very actually, I made similar copy of that. So what he had, he has driver, and the frequency was about 8 megahertz, I think, and top load was on the spherical body, elevated, and there was a second part, distance, and over there was a receiver. So when he sent signal, that LED was dimmed and stopped to over there was a light up on the receiver. He put that in the under Faraday, inside of Faraday cage, and to say that it engrounded Faraday cage, and he said that it is evidence detection of longitudinal waves. I must disagree. I disagreed then, and I disagree now. Actually, I wrote then to him, and he responded, but I'm not sure that it was he. It's very common that someone PI, personal assistant, whatever, is managing emails. How he did? So he had driver, he had primary, and over there was, let's say, that LED. Primary, secondary coil, top load, spherical body, and over here the same, over here the same, then now this is primary, this is secondary now, there is a LED in electronic, and he used wire to simulate ground connection. He put that under Faraday cage, that have been grounded like evidence. So when he got that resonance, so he made the same. He made this one is working, this one is working as well. It is standard. Then he tune up another resonance. When it stopped, this one stopped to work. This one was working. What I disagree. I'm not disagree by my knowledge. I'm disagree by my experience and experimental results. What is this? He never grounded this wire which simulate Earth. Never. He always, and that's so. If he will ground this wire which makes simulation of Earth, then it will not work at all. Trust me, I made it. So it tells me that there wasn't a longitudinal wave through the air. It was transmission through that wire, and Faraday cage actually makes not working here. Actually, even help, because radiation, it came through this wire and radiate, and through Faraday cage's collector and ground and just amplify effect. But it is not the air transmission. So it is that part. Second part is about what I last time spoke about, coils like this. And this capacitance playing important role. So over here we can 200 volts with 10 volts input. And remember, when it's short connected, then consumption was about 15 milliamps. When it's open, reach maximum voltage, or drive load which keeps maximum voltage, then consumption is about 300 milliamps. Now imagine that. I did that about 2018, I think. So imagine like this, like we have that kind of capacitor. Okay. And the voltage over here will be, if it is the same distance, it will be half voltage over. Now imagine that this plate we replace with flat with coil. So that coil will be stressed by E field here, but there will be voltage difference here as well. I have another type of coil you can make alone by cable, flat cable. So we have 50 turns, and if we apply plate the same diameter like this one, and on opposite side the same, then we know that when we have electric field like this, goes like this, that magnetic field goes like this. So which means that magnetic field will be parallel with a conductor. And so when we connect this to AC source or push-pull, over here will be voltage, but to be more precise, so if we apply LED bank, let's have it like this, about 40 volts, 50, no matter. Then we will have really powerful light here. And what it does, the same like here, when I load that coil in the middle, the current from the source will drop. But to be fair, actually it is something like I described before. If we put here half bridge rectifier, a Vremenko plug, and put the load like this. Yeah, it will work. This part is just work like elevated capacity body, so it's turn itself. But if we work like here, like on the beginning I described, if you walk like here, we will find very easy that if I will place capacitor here to keep that voltage alive, then will we get better work. So that gave me another idea. It gave me another idea. Okay, you can take, let's say you can make any coil, which depends how much source frequencies. Let's say the coil like this or like this. You can this one as well. It's up to you. Like this, no matter. So let's start like this. So I have the coil, I have the plate, and another. If I and over here I will put two LED panel. So if I connect this on low volt, because E field rise up with voltage. So if I connect to 10, 12, 20 volts, I will get some work here. But if I will put the coil and use this connection that I will set it is capacitor. Actually, I call that cap coil. This I call cap coil. It is working title. It's not that I something cap coil. So this one will act like capacitor, and when I get resonance with this total capacitance, I will have the higher current from the source. and the best work. But as I said, if I will put capacitor here, I will get even better work, because then I said why do that? Why I will not loop back? So when I loop that, I will get more current drops from the source for better work. But there could be different combination. Okay, this one to explain. It is just one. I have many size, many. I use this big size because I wanted to get a frequency in tens of kilohertz. Because when I'm working with very high frequency, that capacitance of LEDs also take important role as well, and then I'm making heat as well. So what is the... So it is the coil like this one. Then I wrapped with aluminum foil, but you need to make gap to not to avoid it to be secondary. Even that, or there will be some kind of some portion of eddy current. It is outer. It's outer, and this one is inner. He's also had gap. It's not connected. In work like this. But if you don't use actually you can very tight to be high capacitance, then you need high energy to get proper results. So it's better to work like this. And this was set up for combination, something like this. There are also different, but this one is enough to use like this. Over this one I use just completely to avoid induction. So it is inner coil which present in inner coil. It is outer coil, and between them is this some kind of toroidal coil, and it was my secondary coil. So, after that, if I will go like this, then I can get much better work. And there is something, okay, before that to tell you, I don't have to have, I can do that with coil and just one, like this. Also, but with some reason I wanted to do like this one. What I can tell you about working with these cup coils, or it is not like little you need to learn. Let's say, just to give you an idea, which I have been surprised. I have bipolar coil. And let's say that it was inner plate, and it is outer plate. And from here, I was my tricks to load. There was several versions. It's load. This one wasn't in use. When I just connected like this, it changed output. It boosted output. I'm not sure that I can explain why it boosted. I can't say it's proper capacitor because it's over here is shorted, and it's shorted on the same side, so it's not inductive connection. What also I noticed, let's say I was thinking, oh, okay, I'm getting high voltage like this, so then I can, let's say here, I can place step down transformer for high frequency. It will not work like I was thinking that it will work. Again, let's say that it's few turns, over here is many turns. This one will work, also had high voltage. Why? Because everything is stored, it is electric field, mostly electric field, and let's say like this, I will have high voltage. And this one is not help too much, the same. So it's which means I can, on this way, I can make step down transformer to get high current load. So basically, it is about that. This I will put video of everything what I'm speaking now. It will be on the inserted video from experiments or on the end of video. The last thing which I want to speak now is about negative energy. And basically, I don't like to make replica. I'm really rare. By my wish, I'm making some. Okay, I made a replica of brown gas generator, but other replicas that I and my company worked, that I was hired for someone to make replica. Even many times I didn't agree with a replica what I need to make, but I was hired and I made it, try to make it professional. Like that I'm built. So I was asked to make replica about Joseph Newman machine. What to say about it? Joseph Newman, even I told in the last video that Joseph Newman contacted me. Maybe he contacted many others. I wasn't special too much. But he had big enemy. The biggest his enemy is himself. Maybe many of you know that he was very problematic guy. I needed to read book. I disagree with many things and didn't take serious. But it doesn't matter what theory what he is saying. Results is something, is it work or not? When I read, there was there was team around him, and the leader of that team, I think that was Roger Hastings, PhD. Hastings, and he published in that book, actually Newman put his measurements and comments from Roger Hastings, Dr. Roger Hastings. By reading that reports, I didn't see nothing wrong with how he made measurement, and so then that's why I start to think about temporary Roger Hastings has idea, because the basic things about human motor is to have high mass coil, very high. I saw many replica then and now about human machine, and they use these small coils like this one. I mean, it is not what Newman said. High mass of coil and very long coil, a long wire, I mean. And Hastings had idea that maybe for moment duration of switching, because it's too long coil, too long wire, current not finish the end. So let's say it's massive coil, and let's say that is 1 millisecond. You switch, and he was thinking, what if current doesn't finish the end during 1 millisecond, and that's why it has a low consumption. By some theory, if it is that, then it should produce standing waves. When I made replica, my replica, it's not completely like he was. You will see the pictures and video. Total weight of that machine was 100 kilograms. I had 6 coils, 10 kilograms, 6 coils, 10 kilograms each. Wire was 0.55 millimeters. I think that resistance was about 9 kilohertz. I'm not sure now. And I have 6 of them. And 6 of them in series had total wire very close to 180 kilometers. You can imagine how much it was high resistive coils in series. And I needed about the same, about 180, 200 volts, actually lower I needed, but to get some proper, I didn't say that that rotor has 10 kilo, just rotor. So total was 100 kilograms with other things. And when I made calculation, I drive this all 6 coils in series with 2 kilohertz, which is like Hastings suggested idea. There was current. Why? Because so many capacitance between turns. So I'll give up from that. So what makes me wonder? There were so many people around him, and qualified people, and they make measurements, and on the end they still believe that. I think that 2018 was big big Eureka video on YouTube about them, how talking about time when they work for human. There was constant time over there, and how nobody didn't see every single data. Why? Okay, maybe they knew that and they pretend. I don't know. But let confuse you. Because I use read switch to run, so I didn't use commutator like his, and I use read switch for switching, and I use 9-volt battery, 200, so 9-volt, 200 milliampere hours. I fully charge, I make it run, and it ran over 5 days until it reached 7 volt. Then, by the way, so it's something was like this. There was LED it was 1 watt each, high power LEDs like this in series. Then, so I use one trick. I don't know why. So let's say it is shaft. It is, it is shaft. It is burning. Shaft is 22 millimeters iron connected to burning and like this, and 9 volts battery, and it is was my 10 kilogram rotor and the coils. Oh, pardon, there is a reed switch as well. So it ran about 5 days until it reached 7 volts. And I made a report that I was surprised. To see where we are, we made test the same battery, charge again, fully charged. Then we make simulation because of RPM. We knew what is the frequency of switching. We kept the same LEDs, and so something like this. We have the coil inside of that small coil. Inside of that coil is reed switch, and this coil was powered by oscillator, external oscillator. So that coil has nothing to do with this. There was the same 9-volt battery. There was a potentiometer where we tune the same current like it was here. And the battery was flat less than 1 day. I had no answer. I don't want to be smart. Now I will show you some switching which I made. the switching, the first switching is like this. I use reed switch, two reed switches. Okay, let's, then I use diode like this and diode like this. We have the source and we have the coil. Over here is a rotor. And then I connected, like always I connecting these things. Let's say it always like this directly. And from there going to the coil. This coil, from this coil goes here. And from here goes to the source. So when they are activate, they are on, the current from goes like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. It's a little complicated looks, but it's not. And it's returned. When magnet pass the coil, come in, let's say, in this position, then reed switch are open, then back EMF wants to continue. So back EMFs, see, let's say, from to continue this work, goes like this, goes back to the plus, and and this one go back. So keep the same movement. But it is a mostly, it's not exactly what I said. Ordinary, very common reed switches, it is about exactly that, about 100, a little below 200 volts. If they, because the powerful back EMF, then even the switch, reed switches are open. Some current will pass here, so you need to care about that to avoid this with capacitors, but you don't have to. There is energy in that. It is gap power. It is actually when open, then you create, like I described, something like parametric for the. But if you also, you can avoid by buying reed switches for higher voltage. So then because I am fascinated with asymmetry, then I wanted to make like this. I will to use two coils or two group of coils. To keep simple, let's say two coils, not 6 coils, 2 coils. And then I made a little different these things. Why this approach? Idea is to energize the coil until they are in series, and back EMF collect back in battery when they are parallel, so to increase the current. For 2 coils, I need 3 reed switches. And diodes are like this. Another diode from this side is like this. And over here is like this. And the same like I did over here. Do not draw all. So let's say we call red coil 1, okay, it is L1. It is terminal, red terminal, it is black terminal. Just from this black terminal. The same, it is L2, red terminal, and black terminal. So this one will go to the source, positive. So which means this one is red but source. This one will go to coil L1 red. This one will go to black L1. Okay, this one will go L2 red. And this one will go L2 black. Black. And this one will go to source negative. Black, source black. Black. So this one is for 6 coils. How many wires I have? So it is the same, just continue for all 6 coils. And with that one concept, I got this result. So it discharged, but it lasted much longer. But how I made, you will see on pictures and video, this my version of Joseph Newman machine wasn't designed, even mechanic is my qualified for mechanic. I from the beginning I didn't make to get mechanical output, so it was we didn't use energy out from the shaft because I was mostly focused on electric. What to say about Joseph Newman forward for this machine? It's strange. But when I watch in garage when he had the big Eureka, I was fascinated with when he used 9-volt batteries okay, I know everything. I know. Everybody knows. Okay, high current, high voltage, low current, but that shaft, that machine to drive for it's demanding. For that, I said, oh, some bravo. Does anything special there? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Rather, we say no. But let's say I was confused with the result what I get. But to explain why I use that negative energy, they used to say it is reaction, reflection of environment, of space, and they used to call that this high peaks can deliver high energy. It's true. And Tom Burden published his theory that we need to increase impedance of the circuit and to make almost no current, and then will be the way to harness that reaction, reflection, that negative energy. It makes no sense to charge capacitor like they said without current. If you charge capacitor, you had current. But for me, that's why that part was used. I was accept to work on human machine because huge coil is anyway that he has, and the coil which I has extremely high impedance, had high voltage spikes, and he had problem. Sometimes there is a video when he needed over maybe 30 minutes or maybe hour to start. He made a long speech for audience, for visitors, and when he needed to start, he had problem to start machine. So which means that he didn't understand his machine as well, because it didn't work always like he was thinking. But I will rather say that Tom Burden was wrong. Why? Because he was many times wrong. And he and John Bandini never reached something, what they are saying. So it seems that high impedance to get collect, harness negative energy was wrong way. I will rather say it if it is possible, it is just opposite should be. That's for me for now.
Yes, until next time.
Hi. It is moment when exactly this 9-volt battery should be dead, because I spent 100 hours of work. We have 75 to 77 RPM of 10 kilo rotor, but we have this very powerful blinking of LED diodes, which is in series with the coils. So let's put beside this spinning rotor. This blinking is 100 hours. It's too much for this 9-volt battery. But in this moment, the voltage is actually 8.89, which means it's it's actually almost fully charged. And it is the voltage when it holds too long. So by theory, by calculation, in this moment, 100 hours from the start, this battery should be dead. And no, but it's steady, full, very good charge. That's it. Thank you. Hi. I push by hand this rotor and you can see that I'm charging capacitor. It's climbing up. The only what I have the capacitor about 1 microfarad and reed switches inside of this coil. So what I got, that generator mode and motor mode rotate in the same direction. So because I push by hand, now it's generator and it's charging up the capacitor. Now I will stop rotor and have a look. Now it's motor. See? Now I will speed up by the time because I stopped. It stopped from neutral position. So it's faster and faster. So it's very important that like generator and like motor, they rotate in the same direction. Sorry. It is how I did. I insert inside of this coil reed switches, so the same effect which I have with when the reed switch activated by magnet, it's on, then energy from here, the voltage from here, current from here, create magnetic field which produce this effect with reed switches or Hall switch, or here just is reed switches. So it is a circuit which I made. So it's very simple. It is the coil, it is the rotor which I'm spinning, and there are 2 parallel reed switches. They are activating at the same time. So when they activate, then the current goes from capacitor through the coil back. See, but when they are open, and which means off, then the stored energy in the coil by this diode charges capacitor back. So it goes like this all the time, but it's produce. They do not stop. Actually, they're not contra each other like usual generator and motor. They are in the same direction. It gives me hope and possibility to use just one coil powered by battery or whatever, inverter, but other 5 coils drive like this, which means because they are not cancel each other, they will generate, other coils will generate voltage to help to battery which will drive this coil. So which means that I'm expecting less invested energy from the same work. That's it. Thank you.